Good evening, viewers, and welcome to The Price of Fame. My name is Lunga Tshuka, and I'll be your host. So, The Price of Fame is a podcast that focuses on the journey, on the stories about the real life stories about the journey from the beginning to success. And from from the moment of realization that they realize of their gift or their purpose. And in these stories, we aim to share the light, and in these conversations, we aim to share the light on the hardships, the sacrifices, and the mindsets our guests had to overcome to achieve the current position in their careers. These are their stories. Ladies and gentlemen, tonight's guest is a force to be reckoned with in the hip hop scene, b-boy scene particularly speaking. This man, if you are b-boy, you know his name. Now, he actually recently celebrated over 20 years of breaking. And this man, within that 20 years of breaking, from coming from the beginning stages of his career, where you probably saw him as the b-boy for the Brassafani Cup, and then the man started making his name locally, and then he went nationally, and now he's internationally known, flying the flag all over the world, ladies and gentlemen, as a b-boy as well as an international judge. He's here today, and he's also a resident b-boy on the Hip Hop Show, which is on DSTV. Please make some noise for the heavy hitter b-boy. He go by the name of Man Like B.
Away. Yo, finally we're doing this.
Away.
Big up. Yeah, finally. Sorry, say again?
I say we spoke about this some time ago, and we finally.
It's been a minute, bro. It's been a minute. Finally, we're making it happen. Trust the process.
Ladies and gentlemen, this is Man Like B. He's welcome to the stage right now. For those of you who don't know, you're about to get the real scoop, the real background of who this man truly is. If you want to find out about all his highlights, please check him out on his social platforms. It's Man Like B. He's on Instagram, he's on Twitter, he's on Facebook. Check him out. This man is killing it. He's been posting every single day, probably, right? And yeah, he never takes a break. He never takes a break.
Even though I'm breaking.
Yeah, he never takes a break. He keeps on breaking the rules.
Yes, bro.
When Corona came, this man was still taking titles. Bruh, come on, man. Everyone was
we're gonna get into that. We're gonna get into that tonight.
Awesome. We have you here, bro. I just want to let the guys know that he's also a personal friend of mine. I'm not just looking for friends here. He's actually a personal friend of mine.
I know this man from back then. Yeah, this is not a made-up story here.
All right, B-boy curse, bro. So B-boy curse. We're actually gonna get into that name change and all of that stuff. I need to understand.
Okay.
And for those who don't understand, before all of, how is 2021 been treating you, bro?
I'm gonna say I've had a bit of a breather this year compared to last year. I would say last year, like with the whole introduction of COVID and how to adapt to the new way of life, and how to adapt with general situations where things, I guess, where you I wouldn't say taken for granted, but you paying more attention to things that you thought was nothing, I would say like 2020 was basically just the prep for how 2021 is gonna be, but I would say like the start off for 2021, it's been a good year. Just saying this because of the situation that we're in, because I thought like how last year started, or like when the whole COVID situation started, I thought like this year's going to be more hectic. I mean, I guess it's still hectic, but you've kind of figured out ways how to survive, because we're not really living now, we're basically just surviving, because we're used to a lifestyle or a certain way of living, and now you have to remold and to adapt to the new situation, but obviously, moving with times, you need to keep up with the times. Otherwise, you're going to get left behind, So you need to adapt to what's happening in the moment, get with even if it's with the trend or the new in thing or whatever it is, you need to latch on and find a way for you to be relevant and still move with it and still make a living and still fit in with what you're doing, or with the general society, I would say, because this has affected a lot of us in different ways and in many ways. So 2021 has been difficult, but I've learned a lot at the same time, bro. Like stuff that I neglected that I thought isn't important, I had to invest in. I had to spend time to get to know and how to get out of certain situations, So it definitely taught me a lot. And I would say it has made me a stronger artist,
Yeah.
just in terms of how to work with your talent, how to repackage you as a product, and who to sell it to now, because obviously you have a different target market now, because the thing that we've neglected as, I won't say the old generation, but like with social media, there's a lot of new stuff coming up, so you need to adapt and find out ways, how can I survive in this era now,
Mm.
and I'm actually honored that I've lived through these stages of life, to have learned a little bit of everything and how to apply it to the situation that we're in now. So 2021
Yeah.
has been difficult, but dope at the same time.
Yeah. I mean, you spoke about adapting and like the times and everything like that. So, I don't know. I haven't seen any videos from your TikTok. Are you on TikTok? Have you been doing all in the, have you been adapting like that?
That's what I'm saying. Like I'm from that generation where this is a little bit. It's still weird for me to
It's
to
weird.
actually switch over to that kind of way. Like I do videos, I do post on TikTok, but it's not the trending videos, I would say. It's not like like all the and your what's and what. But I do post on it, and it's just to be active, obviously on all social platforms. To be relevant, I would
Mhm.
say. Because
I
again, if
hear
you're not
you.
gonna keep up with the times, it's gonna get difficult.
Yeah. Let's get into the name, Man Like B. All right. I know at some point it became a question of brand. I need to look at my brand and how do I
Mm.
social brand. But before that, before you even got to thinking like that, I think your first B-boy name was B-boy I.
Um,
and
Damn,
and
bro,
then
that came from school, I would say.
and for the curse for a very long time. And I
Yeah.
mean, you love that name because every time you stepped on stage where they say that name, people's like, ooh, because they know this
Yeah.
man brings image to the, and then it changed to Man Like B. So can you please educate
Mm.
us through the process on what made you do that? How'd you come from B-Boy I to the curse? What was the curse about that
Okay.
character and who is
Let me
Man
let me
Like
let
B
me
now?
let me let me start the first one. I
Okay. Yo, Man Like B, can you just hold
had
one
this
second?
afro kind of dread.
Man Like B, can you just hold 1 second quick?
Yeah, yeah, no problem.
We're losing you. Now you were breaking up there for a bit. Is everything okay?
Yeah, my bad, my bro. This why I was testing network earlier on to see if the data or the Wi-Fi is better. But how's it working now?
Yeah.
Is it back?
I
Is it
can
back?
hear you a lot clearly
Because
now.
okay, I do want to apologize, for these moments that we're gonna experience now, the on and off. So viewers, just
Live, bro.
yeah, a little bit of patience with us, please. We're also dealing. For a lot of us, this is the first time we doing stuff like this, and that's where it's coming in,
Yeah.
adapting with the
Acting.
times.
Going high.
Yes, I. There we go. So coming back to the names, people I or like I was just basically a nickname that I got from, I would say, like from primary school on, because I had like a afro kind of stylish dreadlockies, not really dreadlocks, but like a afro kind of thing. And my uncle,
And Corn-
yeah, was a rasta, and just they just like kind of okay, I the he and whatever, so they just call you I. So there was never a thing that uh there was no specific reason for it, any specific reason for it. It was just because of the look,
yeah.
I would say. Yeah, it wasn't attached to an actual, because I was doing certain things or whatever. So that name was just, yeah, it was there. And then obviously moving into breaking, um like, because we come from a different generation, like just going back to like how it's supposed to be. If you have a mentor or like people that you're working with or dancing with, or like the circle that you move in, then you would get your name because of how they look at you, so you have to earn that name, whatever
Yeah.
name you get.
Yeah.
But with me, be with the curse, myself and Benny entered this battle called 2-on-2, that was hosted by Vokes and Switch, and that was back in, I guess, 2004 5 side. So and this at
Yeah.
this time, this album out of Jay-Z, The Gift and the Curse. And I was like, my bro, this is actually a dope, like a 2-on-2 name. Why don't we use this name and go into the 2-on-2s and whatnot? So we went, but we never actually used the name. So Benny's like, he was like, nah, he's gonna stick with Benny. And like, yeah, I actually don't have a stage name, and Brandon sounds so common. This is like boring, but like it doesn't make any. No, it makes sense, but it has no impact, in that circle, I would say. And so I'm like, okay, now I'm gonna stick with the curse because it sounds like tough, And also, my height and my body type, and like I'm not the biggest, scariest dude there, bruh. So I'm like, okay, maybe if my name is a bit scary, it will kind of frighten my opponent when I step on the stage, So I'm like, yo, the curse, and like people's like, yo, who's this? The curse, but that I only realized that kind of affected that on the general public, or like the hip hop community, when they heard the curse, it's like, yo, the curse, the curse. So I kind of had to live up to the name, If people have that impression of this name, then I need to live up to it. And I'm like, okay, now cool. So I got this name now, which I didn't plan for, and with the drive behind the name of wanting to be, like massive in that space, I had to work, So the talent matches the name. So I had to work, keep on. It was constantly a thing of proving yourself. Why are you the curse, me, bro? Why is it that people scared of you when you step onto the floor? Because we love. Oh well, the dancing that we loved, or the style, is based on battling. So either way, you need to frighten or scare of your opponent in whichever way, whether it's mentally or what your name, what your moves, but you got to bring something to the table to win the battle. And you need to make ways or find ways, whichever's going to work for you. But also because of the name and in the circle that I moved in, and what I've learned from breaking it is, you constantly need to see yourself here, man. Like you constantly need to push for that champion level. So I guess my drive for wanting to be better kind of matched the name at the end, and so I had to create moves, to scare the people, and not just have a name that is big, but I also need to match it with what I deliver. So that was that, Be With the Curse. And I never, at some point, it was never a serious name, It just grew onto me, and people, like okay, now this is Be With the Curse. And then, so I just made it became a brand. I did not make it a brand, because when I started out, there wasn't focus, okay, I want to do this. No, I've learned all of these things along the way. So obviously getting older, and with general public, when people hear B-boy, you're constantly being looked at as a kid. They I wouldn't say directly as a kid, but when you say B-boy, it's like it's just some guys, from the street, they're spinning on their head. There's a bunch of boys, and like so I was like, okay, cool. And also getting older and wanting to move into different avenues and branching out, the curse, the name was a bit like, like for people that don't know like any breaking history or like the type of names that we got, as artists, people just assume from the get-go, okay, we don't want to work with this guy because the name is like this, it doesn't match our brand and all that, so at the end of the day, I'm a brand, so I need to see or make sure that I match other brands to collab, and like it fits together to move forward. And then I came up with like, okay, when people say, like men like Lunga, it's like picking up this man, it's like say, big up Lungs, I'm like, nah, man, like Lungs, he's the guy, like that, so I'm like, okay, I have B for breaking, for B-boy, for Brandon, you're a man like B, bigging up yourself, basically, creating I wouldn't say a character that's bigger than yourself because you giving yourself props, but it's also like, I've lasted 20 years, which I did not expect it. I did not count for this, I've made it to like, I'm reaching 20 years, pick up yourself, man like B. Nah, respect, bro. So that's how I came to that name.
And like with the names and everything, like I understand where you're saying like moving, obviously you started to take yourself a lot more serious and starting to see yourself as a band, and not just B-boy, just dancing, So like we've seen you do a lot of collaborations with other brands like Red Bull and Adidas and many other brands, to just name a few. And like you've gotten a taste of what it's like to actually be like an entrepreneur, not just like killing it every time on the dance floor, and like almost like burning yourself out, you focus some of your energy in entrepreneurship.
On the business,
and like you've traveled, you've been with a circus, you've been to almost every part of the world. Every part of the world with just your dancing, and that's amazing, And like for parents or those who want to aspire to dancing, I mean, just take it from this man's story that there is there is success. You can reach these levels and you can experience
Sure. Yeah.
this many experience. And I'm sure you've even seen some of your heroes that you used to watch on the phone, and then
Yes,
you
bro.
dance,
Yes,
spend
yes,
time.
yes.
You know, how
Bro,
many of how many artists actually get to say like I spend some time with my actual hero,
maybe like a
and
Drake or a Buster or whoever.
exactly battle him, talk crap to him, be like, you know what, you whack, and chill
Oh,
out and hang
hey,
out, get to know
you
them.
get.
So I mean, your story is amazing, bro, and I'm really gonna try to cover all of that. But I just wanna for those who don't understand breaking, there's also something
Mm.
that was really interesting for me to see the flip between the breaker and when he's on the floor and when he's just talking in person,
Yeah,
and
just
you
the.
one of those guys who has a complete flip. Like right now, you chill, be like, oh, nice, man, like me, cool. As soon as I say battle is on, bruh, there's a completely different person that I'm
For real.
seeing. Tell us about the character. What is it like? Because it's a battle, right? Why do
Yeah,
B-boys
yeah,
need to have a character? Why can't you just come as yourself and be friendly there and be like, oh, hey, me, bro, I know you. Why is it
yeah.
that character that gets slaughtered in a battle? And why is
Mm.
it good to actually put on the character and to be fierce? Like you said, curse. You needed to live
Yeah,
up to that name. You needed to become that character every
yeah,
time you stepped off the floor. But every time you stepped
definitely.
off the floor, you were like, oh, hey, me, bro, what's it? So can
Yeah,
you difference? What is the understanding between that for those who don't understand that at all?
yeah. To answer a part of that, firstly, of that question. First of all, what I usually always say, or like the thing that I love by like, if before you want to be a dope dancer, maybe be a dope human. Because that's gonna empower your style, your skill. It just brings you back to being. I really don't want to say being humble, but it just reminds you of, let me first be a dope human before I'm gonna be a dope b-boy. Because there's only so much you can
Yeah,
do with breaking. You can't break everywhere you go. Because
yeah,
people are gonna meet you sometimes before they've seen you perform. So you want to be known for the actual human and not just for the performer. So I,
yeah,
I usually, or like most of the time, I try to invest in the human first before I
yeah,
invest in the breaking, because breaking is what I love. But as a human, I live with humans. I'm dealing with them day to day. So, and it's not on the breaking level, so I can't always take that breaking persona or that character into every space that I'm moving in. So I need to be a liquor means. You need to be a liquor means
yeah,
to
yeah.
go to build relationship for people to support, I guess, and to respect what you're doing as an artist. Because you can be a dope artist, but a whack person in person, and then you can put on the biggest show, but people's like, nah, me bro, that man is whack. I'm not gonna go support that man. Whatever. Because they know you as a human and not just as an artist. You get where I'm coming from.
Yeah, yeah.
Like that's where the two, I wouldn't really say personalities, but yeah, like that character that you put on when you go on
Mhm.
stage. And also, a thing of breaking is like breaking is also the thing of protecting your territory. Like if you know a little bit of breaking history, it was about protecting your territory. And when you battle, you need to put everything on the line to make it known, check where I'm coming from, what I'm representing. I'm standing for this, and I'm gonna fight till the last breath in this battle, and I'm gonna do whatever it takes to win you. So it's also based on a bit of that confidence, like, because in real
Yeah,
life you can't always have that big of a confidence, because then it comes across as you being ego. Because there's a fine line between being confident and being and having a big ego. So you would know where to draw the line,
yeah,
so that confidence you need to, and it comes with years of training, man. Like, it doesn't happen overnight. We're just gonna be like, okay, I have all this confidence on stage. So,
yeah,
and that's also a space to present who you really are, man. I know you've said that, like, you have this look and all that, but a lot of the times, some where we come from, and I don't want to put it like, yeah, like we just from the hood or whatever, because we got decent people, just from
yeah,
the areas that we come from. It doesn't mean like I'm like that area, yeah. Um, so there's a lot of stuff that you go through day by day by day, and you try to find a way to release that and to turn it around in a positive way. Although it might look like it's an aggressive kind of sport, dance, or art form or whatever, but it's actually not that. And like you're saying, when you step off stage, then you were like back to normal, like a normal human being.
yeah,
So that is just a space for me to let loose,
yeah,
because there's a lot of times where I can't say the stuff that I want to say, but in my
yeah,
breaking, I can present that, and you will see the amount of energy and power that I've put into this, like by training these moves, so you can see what I'm presenting and how heavily hard I'm into this thing that I'm doing. So it might flip that personality or that outside look where it's like, nah, this boss. I want to scale up his states, my bro. Point fingers and like everybody, how B-boys are, man, like throwing signs. I'm like, yeah, I'm gonna kill you. But we actually do not kill this. No. A lot of those B-boys, they soft. Don't get that. Don't give that breakers. We just sometimes act like that, just to win the battle. So yeah, you need to add whatever is necessary to win the battle, but also with respect. Very important. If you're gonna respect me on the floor as an artist, you're gonna see me like that when I'm done with the battle. Because a lot of people from the outside can't always separate the breaker from the person, So still be in that macho state, but know when to be normal, to adapt to and match into society again, So yeah. It's basically just it's a macho thing, bro. It's just a thing of protecting your name and what you've trained for, what you're putting on the line, because everybody wants to win, of course. But it's also, can you accept the loss at the same time, So that's where also that personality flip comes in, If you lost the battle, are you gonna take that out, like, and be like that amongst like people, Can you flip it? Do you know where to be? Like, in what space can you be? But most important, dope human first before you're gonna be a dope b-boy. Invest in that.
I feel like soccer fans should be listening to this, because they don't think of that character. When the team loses, quad still, maybe they still quad. Like, the game is clear now. Think of that character.
Bro, for real. Exactly. It's like, we don't kick balls the whole day. Relax.
Yeah, but like, to add to that, what you were saying, with the whole gestures, with the, I'm gonna kill you and you going down, or you, all of that is it's all part of the play. It's like, it's a game, it's like it's a battle. And you're playing through this character, and this character is coming like this and all that stuff. But at the end of the day, we break bread together with each other. And also, like you said, and like, it's so dope, to see even like the changes. Like I said, because it's a battle, so you have to like. You have to build up your character, and then you have to be like, this is who I am, or whatever. And you basically channel everything that you come, everywhere you come from, your knowledge, everything that you can't say, everything that you can't express emotionally. That's what you channel in this specific character, You bring it out there, and it's just actually expression of who you are, If people were to ask you, tell me who you are without telling me who you are, you're just like, boom.
There we go. That's it. Exactly. That's it, bro. That is the truth.
Right. And with that being said, I want to get into, because I do believe that breaking kind of like has almost the same values as martial arts, that you can take from breaking and then you can apply it into your real life. Same like martial arts, for example, with discipline, having to do things repetitive, practice till perfect. With martial arts thing, it's something that I take with me into everyday life,
Cool.
Also just discipline in terms of like how you treat people, how you look at people and carry yourself. Could you share some of the values that you've learned from breaking that you've taken into your everyday life?
Okay. First of all, I would say I'm more like an introvert, growing up. So I was very like, I do have my moments like in a human where you're shy, and all that. So breaking has taught me to let go a bit of that and be like who you're supposed to be, let out what you wanted to let out, long time ago. But because of certain situations and the spaces where you're in, you always build up that stuff, So breaking has taught me how to project who I am in a space where I feel comfortable. And because I've gotten comfortable in that way, I could take that out to life, where I don't have to be that person and just constantly just like, okay, Now I can go out and I can chat to people. I can, I can be like even doing what I'm doing now. Like, I would have never be able to do this, having an interview online and just being like open and just sharing like what's going inside here and like in here. Like, I wouldn't have been able to do that. So there's one thing that which was a benefit like with this breaking or like hip hop in general. And then also another thing that it's taught me is patience. Bro, like patience is so important in in day-to-day life, because a lot of us expect a lot of stuff to happen like now because we want it, but certain things will only come when it fits your life, so it teaches you
Absolutely.
that the teaching, of prince of being patience, and
Yeah.
it's the same like with training stuff like moves and all the stuff, like nothing happens overnight. You're gonna have to put in the work for it. So it's the same like going to school. Like when I teach workshops, I usually use this example. Like breaking is basically like the same like going to school, like any other, like you have to study to pass the test. So it's the same with me. Like I have to put in the hours of training to pass the battle or to win the battle. But at the same time, it also taught me of how to look after your body and as a human, and where to invest energy, where it's needed and where it's not needed. You know,
Absolutely.
and also with breaking, it's also the freedom of movement. Where I have a bit of freedom and I can apply that how to think in a space where I can freely think, where I constantly or at some point felt like I'm not allowed to say certain things. I'm not I think in a certain way, because it's not allowed in this space where breaking gives you the freedom to sometimes overthink, because I'll be laying in bed and like thinking about moves, and so it's giving you also the training of thinking using your brains,
Yeah.
and that me bro, and being again, like being humble is there's different, I would say, levels of being humble. Like you can act humble, you can really be humble, or you can just use humble, the word humble, to get into certain avenues or circles or whatever it is. But breaking has really taught me that, bruh. Like if you lose a battle, come on, bruh, it's not the end of the world. Don't take it to grave with you, bruh. Like don't go to sleep with that on your mind. Let go of certain things that you're not in control of. Go back, train, come back stronger, apply it. If it works, it works. Then you can pass that knowledge on to the next person. But I've tried this, it did not work. Maybe you should try this. So it also teaches you the way of sharing. Because you
Yeah.
can be like really good, and you see somebody struggling on the practice space or whatever it is, I can now reach out to him, and say, bro, like maybe try this or try that. So it also bridges that gap of communication, how to approach another person and give him an advice that doesn't sound like you want to sound like you're better than him, but actually, bro, I actually want to help you. I see what you're struggling with, and I feel like this might work for you because I've experienced it in this way. But at the end of the day, obviously you still have to experience it to then you can, okay, now it worked what they said or it did not work what they said. But it just allows you also to be open, because we work with different people on a regular, where you travel performances, when you go for castings or whatever it is, you constantly amongst different people, which is not in the same workspace every day. So coming back to that of being open and being a liquor means, how to deal with day-to-day humans, because you get people,
Yeah.
again, like about the personality thing that you got, but there's a lot of stuff that people deal behind the scenes, so when everybody comes to practice, people are like, yeah, I want to do moves and moves, but how's this people actually doing, like, because today I see you train like this, today you train like this, tomorrow you train like that. Sometimes it's not just him being tired, it's just what this person is going through behind the scene, but we don't know. So it also gives you that thought, at least, to think about a next person. You get what I'm
Yeah.
saying? At least I can think about you. I might not always reach out to you, but it gives me the space where I can acknowledge, okay, yes, I hope this brother's actually okay, man, because he's sitting there, maybe struggling. It looks like he's struggling with a move, but it's not that he's struggling with a move. He's maybe struggling with something else. But before this, I might not have thought about that, on a
Yeah.
day-to-day basis. But now that I'm in this space, I can sit back and I see like, okay, this guy may be struggling with something, whatever it is, and yeah, maybe I should just ask him, So this is all the
Yeah.
stuff that I've learned with breaking, and again,
True.
I'm still learning a lot of stuff too. Like I'm still learning a lot of stuff. So yeah, for now,
Yeah.
that's like bits and
The
pieces I
thing
can
I
give you.
love, like the one thing I actually really love, about breaking and what I experience is that sorry, is that with breaking, and I've seen this in hip hop as well, there is no discrimination, there is no racism or whatever. You could be tall, you could be short, you could be fat, you could have acne or whatever. You could even be a cripple, someone who is like
Yeah,
physically
like
disabled
disabled
or
or something,
whatever.
like yeah,
The floor and they drop that beat, everyone sees a
bruh,
b-boy. So no matter
bro,
where you
I'm
come from,
telling you,
no matter
Lungs,
what you look like, if that beat drops and you rock it, we see a b-boy, it doesn't matter, and we're gonna respect you and greet you like a b-boy.
Exactly, bro.
Like when we go home, you can talk about okay, who's black and who's all of that because of
Yeah,
society
yeah,
or
yeah,
whatever.
yeah,
But
yeah.
once we're in that
Yeah.
space and that beat drops and you're
Bruh,
dancing,
that's
you're a
100%, that's
b-boy.
100% true. 100%
Alright,
like,
and
because
take
like
us
even
to
like
the
when traveling, no? Sorry,
yeah,
but just to add to that, when you travel or like when other people travel around the world and maybe somebody will hit us up, check here, I'm coming to Cape Town, is there any breaking spots or whatever? Like wherever in the world, if B-boys put that out to another B-boy, most of the time, I would say like at least 80% of the time, someone's gonna hit you back, bro, we're training here. You're more than welcome to come and chill with us afterwards, or we can link up here. Like, I don't know you from nowhere, but just because we're
yeah,
doing the same thing, we just see it's like it's really like a worldwide family, bro. Like people
yes,
you can't you sometimes you're more easily to be accepted through breaking as to just rocking up to another bra like bro, I want to chill with you. You're like, what do you want to do? No, wait. But where's the people you travel to, like, say for instance, maybe I'm in Germany, France, or wherever. I'm like, yo,
yeah,
is there any B-boys in this area, like practice spots? Bro, people hit you back like, now, yo, welcome to the na. Hit us up and this, here's my number, stick it and whatever. If you need anything while you're here, hit us up and stuff like that, bro.
yeah.
So there's, like you
That's
said, there's no
dope.
discrimination, there's no color, no race, nothing, bro. Like nothing. Yeah, we don't know what people is dealing with in their personal lives, but in
Yeah,
that moment, bro, that stuff doesn't
yeah.
that's not
We leave that shit.
that's
We
not
leave
there.
that. Leave
Yeah.
that outside. Yo, so take us to the beginning of your breaking career. What made you go like, wow, that's something that I want to do? Tell us, can you paint the picture? How old were you? Where'd you come from? What area were you living in? And what made you look at going as opposed to all the other distractions and knowing that actually grabbed you and be like,
Yeah.
this is something I want for the rest of my life.
Yeah.
Take us back to that moment and
Okay.
describe it for us.
Okay, so I was born in Belha. No, we moved to East River, I would say roughly I think I was like 3, 4 years old. Like 4, I would say, like kind of remembering back the first I can remember back. Like say like 4 years old. And then was now living in East River and going to school, like the basic whatever. And I think I was, what is that, standard 4? What is that? Grade 6, I think, yeah.
Yes.
So normally what they do at primary schools, you have the bazaar, you have like a movie day, you have, these things that they do on a Friday, like a fundraiser thing. Yeah. So they had like a disco thing in the wall. And as a kid, you don't know about going to clubs, so you don't really appreciate the music or like the actual thing that's happening here. You're just a kid running around mad, like stupid, And then there was a circle, and me and a couple of friends were playing on the other side. I don't remember what we did, but yeah, just call it playing. And there was a circle, and people just cheering on this one person, And I thought, like, okay, it's just another thing here where somebody's doing a stupid move, cheer, and then the next person come in. But I get there, I see a bra do vlees, my bro. Ek is like, what is die? Die man gaan op sy hande, but his body is moving in a circular motion, and what is this, my bro? Like, I had no idea. Like, I've probably seen a couple of moves on TV here and there, but that's all the knowledge that I got from breaking. So, I don't know who this bra is because I know he wasn't in school. Like, he sneaked in. His cousin was on school, so he sneaked in for this fundraiser thing, and the man was doing the stuff. I'm like, okay, nah, cool. Flip, what is this? I couldn't get in contact with anyone because I don't know what it is. Man. Like, why do you say, how do you explain to a person, oh, there was this guy doing this thing on his hands and his, but I'm not being silly here. No, you must show this pattern, like this movement. Like, leave it, what? So,
what's his number? What's his number?
Imagine it all, someone like that. But I was doing that, but this is number, my like, wait, you don't play for that team, bro. What? Yeah, so that was the Friday. So the whole weekend, my entire weekend, I was just thinking about this moves, but I was like, what was this brat doing? And I knew, like, I'm never gonna see this brat again because I don't know who he is. And I've never seen this on school, so I know, okay, going to school and asking for this is not gonna happen. But so it kind of faded. The excitement and the anger, wanting to know what it is, you're like, okay. And as a kid, you move on. New games pop up, you get something new, you move on with the times. Eventually, I get to high school, and then in my class, there was this, one bra that could do, but like a glide or something, you know, like one flare, and like, so it wasn't really a thing like yet, you know, like, okay, I still want to dance, or like I still want to get into breaking. I left it. So like 3 months went past. I think it was like March, April side. So I'm like, nah, man, this man is doing this thing, and I actually wanted to do this thing, and like, but I never found people. So I started hanging with him in the corridor because we had this smooth surface, man. So the people try stuff. I'm also there playing around, trying stuff, turtles and whatever. So I met Charles and another bra called Regan on school. So for those who don't know, Charles is People Roots, People Mechanic, People 9-eater, aka Bliksemstraal. You know,
Yeah.
the dancehall artist, MC. Yeah, so I met him on school. So he was the actually the only bra that could actually break, like, and it was already breaking for at least like 2-3 years at that time. I think, if I'm not mistaken, could be like 3-4 years. And so he was the most experienced on school. But I'm like, nah, I need to hang with this bra. Who's this bra? Get in contact, you know, the man see I can do, or like try some stuff. So okay, now we start chatting. And there's the thing again about B-boys meeting B-boys, you know, you smell like start chatting, hey, bro, where you live? Nah, I want to practice, whatever. Nice, stick it out there. And I found out the man lives in my area, bro. I'm like, okay, cool. So I could train with him a bit, like for days on and off, you know. So it wasn't really that serious at the time yet. But I knew, okay, this is what I want to do. I found people, hang out more with him. So one day at school, there was a lady that came in. So they made an announcement on the intercom, like, yo, we're looking for people that want to learn how to dance and all the stuff, you know, b-boy, pop dances, da. I'm like, wait, here's my chance now, bro. After school, I go to the hall. Now they might have an audition, bro. And I'm like, bro, I thought you're gonna teach us how to dance. What is this now, audition? Because now they're actually wanting to build a crew. I'm like, but I have no moves. I'm not gonna survive here. Anyways, I'm still interested in learning this thing. Every day after school, I go sit in the hall. I watch these people rehearse this show. I'm looking. I'm like, yeah, bro, I wish I could be one of them, bro. And one day, one of my brother that was in the show, he fell out. Something happened, you know. So he couldn't make the team. And I'm like, okay, now. So they were looking for this one move. It's like a, you know, this jumping jack where you jump over open legs, like in a split, you know. So like you jump up. So they needed like two brothers to be able to do this. Bruh, I'm like, this, I almost got this move, my bro. Bruh, I get the part to be in the show. I'm like, yes, because he's gonna. Now I'm like officially a B-boy, but I've got no other moves. But anyways, I'm there. Time goes on.
Yeah.
Not knowing they actually putting this show together to go to Star Search, bro. So this was good. They were going to Star Search, bro, and this is like, I'm like, bro, Star Search is on TV, my bro. Hoe gaan man uitkom, bro? Like, I just sounded far, like distance, like you don't see yourself there, like, you know, like general people you don't expect to see yourself on TV. It's already beating if you can be in a local newspaper. Now seeing yourself on TV is mind blowing. So okay, now let's do the thing, rehearse every day. Okay, the show starts and all that, appear on TV and all that. So now you've built a bigger interest with this thing, you know, called breaking. And then you started hanging out with more people, you meet more people. The following year, Meaty came on to First Heights, but I knew Meaty from like prior to that, yeah, because we used, from the era that I come from, luckily a bit of that, we still had to deal with going into different areas to battle a different crew, to call yourself or to name yourself, okay, now we are the best in this entire area. So we had a bit of that experience, or I would say I'm fortunate to have a bit of that experience. So we used to go to meet the side, but that was also just before it kind of died out, where crews go into different areas and battling each other. I met Meaty, and it was another club where I used to see Meaty at the matinee at Saturdays, bro. I see him in the Joel there. Man's doing Wimbledon 90s and what. I said, this man is dope, bro, flexible and all that, you know. Eventually, man was on the school. We started hanging out. Me, him, and Shaw. But years went on. We met Ramon. And then from Ramon, he introduced us to Brasse van die Kaap. Because at that time, Crazy Heap Squad was part of Brasse van die Kaap. But they left Brasse van die Kaap. And they needed new breakers for the show. And this is all new to me, man. Like, I have no experience with nothing, bro. Like big shows like that. Because Brasse van die Kaap was like an hour show that we had to do, bro. Like, I have no experience with this. How to present yourself on stage. How to be in character for an hour. Entertaining people. You know, like that whole... Yeah. I have no experience with that. So, with respect to that man that came through and then linked us with Brasse van die Kaap, bro. Because that was also it is still a highlight of my breaking career. Like, because I know for a
Yeah.
lot of b-boys, they looked at Brass van die Kaap and like just wished like, yes, this is one day I want to perform with this means. And like I know of a lot
Yeah.
of brass that still feels like that, you know, even though Brass van die Kaap is not as active as they used to be, but I know that feeling of just wanting to be on stage with them. Anyway,
Yeah.
so that moment, then we started the handbrake turn, you know, and then Ramon came up with the name and like the idea, like the thing why I wanted to create this crew was like just melting brass from just playing at yesterday and create like, you know, like a unity kind of crew, just, you know, breaking those
Yeah.
stereotypes of, yeah, this crew has a beef with this ear. It wasn't always that. It was just like stuff that people spoke about, but we actually never knew that we actually had beef with this man. So just people made up stuff. Then you somehow believe now you have beef with this man, so, but you don't know this man, so, you know. So how can it be beef? So he was trying to bridge that gap. You know, it didn't work out. Anyways, we moved on. We kept on doing the thing, and then yeah, with Brass van die Kaap came along, then we found out about doing. Ramon actually introduced me to castings, bro. Like I never knew about commercials and stuff like that. So it's like, bruh, like I have this thing. If you go there, you apply for whatever, you get called back for whatever. I'm like commercials, TV hooters. So the part that Ramon played in the beginning of my breaking is huge. The same with Meaty and Shaw. You know, because I would say this is
Yeah.
like the base of my breaking, you know, because with Ramon, we got introduced to Brass van die Kaap, Mr. Fit, Niza Azul, Easy, E20, then being not part of prophets of the city, but I had the privilege to be amongst the man of prophets of the city, which also are
Yeah.
pioneers of South African hip hop. You know, for me to have met all these people and how it latched on and how, you know, the parts is it's something that you cannot see yourself in when I started breaking, you know, like it was just far, like
Yeah.
there's just people you see on TV, music videos, you cannot imagine yourself on that stage or just being in the presence of these people, you know. So I'm very privileged for everybody I've met up until this far. So Brass van die Kaap, meeting the homies of POC, and then what happened? Yeah, we started touring with Brass van die Kaap, doing national tours, international tours, you know. Mr. Fit, which has been, he was and still is a huge impact in my breaking as well. Like just in the space of, again, being an artist, performing, how to perform and not just be an artist. Because I can be an artist, but how do I project the talent, the skill? How do I entertain people? How do I put a smile on someone's face in the crowd? You
Yeah.
know, how do I make your day with what I've learned? You know, like how can I inspire you? So all of this stuff is basically in the time frame of Brass van die Kaap. So I've learned basically all
Yeah.
my performance, character, all that stuff in the space with Brass van die Kaap. So moving on, 2007, myself and Meaty and Shaw, we heard about this circus audition, you know. But these people requested us, or some of us, while I was in school, and I was like, nah, man, I don't want to do this now. Like it's too early. Like I first want to finish school, and I want to take a break, you know. Because you know, as a lighting, like going to school, you must straight go to work. You don't smile for that, you know. You want to live a bit. So I lived a bit for the year. So I ignored the call from the circus, and that was through Angelo, Joe Baca, them, because they were already on that site, you know. So they sent through
Yeah.
the names. Okay, now check out for these people in South Africa, whatever. And so eventually we never win because of, you know, want to be home first and whatever. We lost scope. Then the choreographer came to Cape Town, had audition. Bro, we got booked on the same day. The man saw us like, yo, do you guys have passports? I'm like, yes, we do have. And also another thing which Ramon and Brass van die Kaap taught us, me bro, go get that bank account, go get that passport. You never know what is gonna pop up, you know. And remember, I was still in school, so bank accounts and all that stuff wasn't a thing. I didn't even have a wallet, bro, because I don't have money. Like what? So I also got to learn how to use a wallet and a bank account and all that. But anyways, we booked the gig the following year, like after January, Feb. We moved to Germany, no, to London. We're in London for a couple of months. We move over to Austria, Germany. We get the contract for 2 years. We in Germany, Austria, Switzerland, London, up and down for 2 years. Got back home. Um, Brah, with all the experience, I'm like, okay, cool. I can actually take this much further, man. Like, I can actually become like one of the best. You know, like I've always seen myself as one
Yeah.
of the best, bro. Like whether it's just for a day, for a month, or a year, but I constantly had a thing in my mind when I found out about breaking, and there's a thing where they can rank you as the best in South Africa. Pardon me. Sorry. So I constantly moved in that direction to wanting to call myself just for once. Okay, now I'm the best in South Africa. So after that circus, my main focus was to be, I need to enter competition, whatever it is, to win, to say I was the best. So that was constantly the drive. So then 2012 came. Then they introduced, 2007, Red Bull BC1 had a qualifier in South Africa. So that was my first year in the BC1. Also no experience, nothing, still weak in whatever I'm doing. Lost first round, but it was also just a thing of, I wanted to be part of this competition. And then 2012 came, I won my first BC1, and that's where a lot of the doors open. Oh, actually before that also, wait, I've skipped some parts. Wait, 2006, we went to France, half Ubuntu, half Hambrechten. We won this humanitarian cup in France. So we're like one of the first South Africans to win an international event. That format, because we had to battle everyone in that competition. So we came on top with point system and all that. So we've won that. So obviously a lot of doors open with that as well. So I got a little bit of like credit, where people notice and all that. Moved on. 2012, won my first BC1. Mind-blowing experience, bruh. Mind-blowing. Went to the Middle East, Africa finals, came third on that side. Next year, flop, messed up, lost first round. But it was all a learning curve, like knowing, okay, cool, what to do better, what not to, where not to invest energy and all that. So like every year, like I have new challenges for myself, and with that, you've also tried, I've tried to invest in business side of breaking as well. How to manage yourself, how to be your, I would say your seller, how to be your manager, how to be the booker, how to be the guy that's doing the admin, So I wanted to learn all of this little or finer details. Should I not be able to be at my best later in life, So I have like some sort of foundation that I can fall back on, and I can actually, I can share this information and not let everybody coming up have to go through all the struggles, Obviously, you'll still have to learn some things, but if I'm there now with experience, why not share it with you? And having to rebuild every time with every generation is coming up. One, try and build something that can, like help people moving forward. And with that being said, sponsors came on board. Brands became interested in what I'm doing. People wanted to work with me. Then I got a few more like direct calls, like people call me directly because they want to work with me because of what I've seen. And then the whole social media era came in. Like, okay, it was new to everyone, so you just post like what you want to post, and like you don't care what you post, you don't care what you say, like whatever. I'm not saying you need to be fake, but obviously you need to watch what you got. People anything against you now, bro. Like anything can be screen grabbed and like, bruh, you said this and this and this day. What you gonna do about this now? So be careful what you post. That's if you're an artist or brand or whatever. So I've learned all of these traits, and I found a way that kind of works for me. Not yet 100%, but I'm surviving with what I've learned, and I've applied it. And now I've built it in a way where I can easily transfer it to someone else. Now I can share this information with you to make your journey, or hopefully a little bit easier than what we went through. So now I'm in a position where I am more of a giver, I would say, than going out to prove myself all the time, like in the battle space, performance and all that, So now I can focus on a different, I can focus on a different topic or subject, whatever, while the others can go out and do their thing. So I guess that's how we build the community. Someone's gonna be the performer, someone's gonna be the booker, the manager, the photographer, whatever, and that's how we build the community. So we need to look at different ways to sustain what we're doing, and not just be an artist and like train yourself. And once this is done, you have nothing to show, and then you become a complainer. We don't want to complain. We want to.
Like it brings me back to the beginning where we actually spoke of, where I said that you've learned about doing more than just dancing the whole time. You learned the business side, you learned how to be an entrepreneur with the branding, also with the brand changing from the curse to man and all of that. Bro, we have coming now to like the last 6 minutes of this interview, and I really wanted to squeeze
Okay.
out two questions, but I don't know if we can do
Okay,
that
let's go.
quickly.
Let me see
I'm gonna
how quick
try
I
and
can
fuse.
answer them.
I'm gonna try and fuse two questions with one, right? And
Okay,
then
let's go.
no, no, you do your best. We've got 6 minutes. So okay, cool. So my
Okay.
second last question would be: is that did you ever have a down moment, like a moment where you kind of like felt like, yeah, I feel like really depressed right now, or this something that's really, really
Mm-hmm.
hard that's happening in my life, and it could actually
Yes.
put you on the brink of hurting yourself, and like breaking is the one thing that actually pull you through. Can you share that with us? And
Mm.
then to end it off, if you were to go back into time to the very, very young B-boy, the curse B-boy I,
Mm.
knowing who you are today, man, like, and you had a little bit of advice for him, what would that advice
Yeah.
be for him? Tell us about your hardships, what
Okay.
brought you out, the people bring you out, and what would your advice be to the very, very young you that just started up?
Okay. Hardships. Let me break it down quick. Let me see how quick I can, just to make it and also understandable. And yeah. Um.
Yes.
First of all, from, or like the family that I come from, or the generation, whatever, dancing is not an option. You're not gonna come and spin on your head. You need to finish school and go get a job. Period. I know what a lot
Yeah.
of other households like that. I mean, like, man, making jokes
Yeah.
like, oh, this is not the job. No,
Yeah.
you can't make people laugh or
Yeah.
what? Nuh-uh. So it's the same with the
Yeah.
breaking thing. Like that was one thing. Family not really approving what I'm doing, because also when I hear the name B-boy, people just associate that with gangsterism, because, oh,
Mm.
you're a nice time kid, you're a sexy boy, you're a B-boy, like that kind of stereotypes
Yeah.
of
Yeah. Yeah.
the name boy attached to another word or to a name. So that was something that, so I had to really find a way to explain that to family. Check it, this is not that stuff that you see on a daily, man.
Yeah.
This is totally something different. That was one thing. Another thing was, I felt like there was not, because I knew nothing about breaking. I didn't know where this thing is going, so it wasn't a thing that I always invested 100% in. So I would go on and off. I'll practice one day, then I'll practice the next week, and I'll practice the next month, or until something actually
Mm.
happened where I saw, like, okay, you can actually make something out of this. Because myself and Charles, and I think BT was with, we did the show at the Crash, and then I got paid, I think, 30 Rand. I'm like, what? You can actually get paid for this? I never knew. And that also was motivation to keep on going. So before that, prior to that, it was the thing that I was doing. So I wasn't like, nah, I'm not serious about this thing really, man. Like, it's not going to
Yeah.
work for me. So that was a down moment of doubting the thing that I'm busy with. Saul then went to Germany for Battle of the Year with the Zayn and Flames. In that space, I also had like those on and off practices. And then he came back like, bruh, come, we must practice again and whatever. And then I start practicing again. So that was a down moment there. Injuries, bro. Yo. Okay. I don't know if you can see this. Wait, let me.
Oh, well.
So this is
Oh,
supposed to be
that,
here
okay.
somewhere. So I don't know if you can see that. Yeah.
Wow.
So
That looks like
so this
it's.
was not. Yeah, it was another down moment for me, because this is the stuff that I used to perform with. What is
Mm.
happening here? Injuries and all that. But a lot of stuff actually put me back for a long time, where I had to stop for like literally like 8 months. I couldn't do breaking for 8 months. And I had to find out, obviously, ways, again, coming back to not just dancing, and finding other ways to make a living, how to use what you got and invest it in different avenues, branch out. So that was down moments, bro. And then obviously dating and being an artist, and if they don't understand where you're coming from and what you're trying to do with this and where you're heading, it's just a thing of, bruh, get over you 20 plus years, stop dancing on your head, it's not gonna happen. Like, no, that kind of doubt
Yeah.
that people put in your head, like, it's just a phase that you're going through, and deep down inside, I know this is not the phase. I love this
Mm.
thing, bro. Like, when you found something, you don't know what it is and how it actually fits with you and all that. You can't explain it, but when you do it, you at peace. So
Yeah.
this is this thing for me, man. I'm at peace when I'm doing this thing, bro. Like, I love this thing. So that down moments, dating, and somebody don't know what you're heading with, where you're heading, can also really put you down. So that was that.
Absolutely.
And obviously losing battles, bro. Like, losing battles put you down for real, bro. Booking gigs
Yeah.
and then last minute getting dropped.
Yeah.
Now the payment is not
Ooh.
coming in. Payment is not coming in because we don't have a regular payment on a monthly basis, you know. So you need to figure out how to make this thing work for you and still be able to pay the bills, still support home, family, you know, the projects that you want to take on, where other business avenues that you want to get into, where you're going to get the money, how's it going to come in. So all of that's are like down moments, you know, but there's also moments to come out stronger. That's the moments you can sit down and actually think, okay, where have I messed up? Let me not do that again. Invest a bit of energy here now, whatever, and then you will see if it works. If not, then you just try, you know. So those are all down moments. And then a little bit of advice I would have given myself, you know, and I strongly believe, besides all the training and having to train on a regular and all that stuff to improve your skill in that, and the thing of getting out more, connecting with more people, you know, that's one thing. But one thing that stuck with me is, pardon me, document your journey. Document your journey, my bro. Because no one else is going to tell your story like yourself. You know, I wish I've done that. I've done that when I started breaking, my bro. I really, because that is valuable moments, man. Like that is the what made you. Like, you know, that as that moment, this is what made you, you know. You know, so I don't really have enough to show for this, you know, that I've been doing this for 20 years. People who know me, they know. But it's better to have, you know, like footage to show you, check here, this is where I started, bro. This is the practice space. This is the shoes I was wearing, you know. Oh, yeah, and another down thing was when I started dancing, family or like my grandma only bought me like one pair of shoes, bro. That's supposed to last for the whole year. When you're going to dance in it, go to club or going out or wherever, one pair of shoes, bro. Practice in it, perform in it, going out with it. But that was a struggle, my bro. But you get what I'm saying, bro? Like, you only get that end of the year for Christmas, and then you must, make it work. And sometimes I'm stupid. I think there's nothing wrong with All Stars, but it's not perfect for breaking, for practicing, going out. Winter, it doesn't work, bro.
Like, All-Star kind of shoe.
You know? But those, So just coming back to that, bro. Like, even now for the younger generation, that whoever's gonna watch this, you know, and even if you're from the now generation or still coming or in the past, if you still have time to document your journey, please do it. Please do it. You know, because we are in a space where technology and social media and everything is available to us. So we have room and space to store these things now. It's not like back in the day where you can't afford a cam or like a phone with a camera. You know, now we have this. Even if it's just a training thing that you document, do that. You know, it's going to remind you who you are and where you came from, bro.
Absolutely.
So,
Thank you so much. Actually, I've never ever heard that one before, document journey. It's something that I need to get into now. And same like you kick yourself and you're like, why didn't I do this earlier? You know, I wish I recorded some of my gigs, you know, and just to like see like how I wrote and all of that, just to see where you came from and all of that. And just also when you're building a profile, doing something like this, you can actually show like you say, you can show your journey, you know, like it's you struggling to show that you've been around for 20 years. You must just take my word for it. Take my word for it. Oh,
exactly, bro. Like, that is the thing, bro. Like I can give you like motivation speeches and all that, you know, cool. Like I can motivate you in that, but please, bro, like document your stuff. Document it is so valuable, and it's gonna make you happy, man. It's gonna appreciate where you came from and where you're heading. You know, it's constantly going to remind you, bruh, this is where you started. You don't want to go back there. You know, not that there's something wrong with it, but that should be the drive, you know, like improve, you know, inspire others. Again, be a dope human, you know. Be lekker.
Oh, wait. I'm going to have to end it over here. I'm probably going to get shot in the head for going a bit over time. I've had a really good time chatting to you, bro. And I do understand and I do believe that a lot of my viewers also enjoyed this conversation with you. I'd like to thank you for coming on to the Price of Fame and being a guest, bro. Thank you so much. Bro. And thank you for sharing with us.
Thank you for having me, Lungs. And you doing the work, bro. I wish you all the best with this show, bro. Like, again, like we spoke about this some time ago. And now I'm seeing like how you've managed to make it happen. I'm like, besides being impressed, bro, I'm proud of you. Like legit, bro. Because knowing you from the dancing battle, you remember, like, I was check, who's this bro standing there alone at the back? You know, like the man is just standing there, like say nothing. And then when it's time for the teen or whatever, the man come out and whatever. I say, yo. And I was like, this is, and we used to say this stuff, you like, when you get back home, like, bro, I did lang brasse dami, bro, man. I was talking about you, Bucks and Lau. But, nah, but it's very nice to see, like, how we've grown in what we're doing, bro. Like, it shows now. It shows, bro. Like, and, yeah, big up yourself, me, bro. Nah, respect for this, bro.
Man, like Lungs too. Respect.
Away.
Away. King, I had a really good time with you. I hope to like actually see
Thank you so
like
much.
because it's always a blessing bumping into and having a good time with you always. So yeah, man, may you have a fantastic night further on. I don't want to hold you anymore. May you doing awesome stuff and just being who you are, my man, and then relax and enjoy the evening further. Thank you so much for everything one more time. And that's it for me, my bro.
Blessed.
Good night, bro.
Stay blessed. Thank you for tuning in, people.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, thank you so much for being patient. I know we went a little bit over. Clearly, we were feeling ourselves a little bit too much. But please, like I always say at the end of every interview, please go and support our guests on their social platforms. Like I said, you can find them on Twitter, Facebook, and Instagram. And some of them are even on TikTok. They're doing the things, they're doing the things on TikTok. But you won't find me there. I'll keep it real here. So please, like I said, so please support them on all of their social platforms. Please support me on my social platforms as well. If you want to find me on Facebook, that is Lunga Tshuka, the Energizer Funny. That is Lunga Tshuka, the Energizer Funny. Please support and let's make the entertainment industry within South Africa the best supported by locals, because local talent is lekker talent. If you haven't seen this episode or you would like to see this episode again and you'd like to share it with other peeps, please go to my YouTube channel and check it out there, and then you like and subscribe. That's it from me, ladies and gents. My name is Lunga Tshuka. I've been your host. Good night.